Hey everyone, it is Kim Jefferson, and I am going to respect your time. And I want to get started right here at 8 o'clock. I want to apologize to my Patriots and Dolphins fans. I did not check the NFL schedule comparing it to when I set up this webinar. But what I do want to let you know is I respect your time, so I'm going to do my best to see if I can wrap us up in 30 minutes. But I want to make sure I cover the materials. Off to the right-hand side of this, you'll see a chat box. In that chat box, definitely that's where you ask me any question that you possibly have about the material I am presenting. Before we get started, I know that a lot of you are familiar to me, and I see a lot of friendly names in there, so thanks for coming out and rooting me on. But before we get started, I just wanted to give you a little background about myself. My name is Kim Barnes Jefferson, and I am a master coach and a lifestyle engineer. And over the past decade, I have worked with a number of clients ranging from elite athletes to the everyday professional soccer mom to the professional woman who just wants to fit into her pants. My goal is to work with women to help them get back their mojo. And one of the ways that I found working with either the elite athlete or the woman who just wants to fit into her pants, it's really the mindset. It's really getting your head on straight and powering into where do I want to be. So tonight I want to frame the 8 ways that you can simply power up your mindset. Now, before we get started, what I don't want is for you to be like, I gotta do all 8 of these things. No, you do not have to do all 8 of these things. I am a baby step type of person. If you're someone who's like, hey, give me a rock and throw me into the deep end, rock on and try to implement all 8 of these. But my main goal is to find a way for you to pick one thing that you can start implementing and you can get some wins underneath your belt. So with that said, let's get started, and we'll take it from here. So the big thing is I want you to see success. See yourself crossing that finish line. They talk about this with a lot of Olympic athletes, a lot of elite professional athletes. When they are practicing them winning. They will run across the finish line and actually raise their hands like they won the race. You've heard of, like, Tom Brady is the New England Patriots quarterback. He will actually visualize what the throw is going to feel like without having the ball in his hand. Receivers will actually feel what it's like to catch that ball and run in for a winning touchdown. You have golfers. They will actually visualize what the swing is without even having a club, so that mind muscle memory connection is actually going in their favor. So a lot of us don't visualize actually having the trophy, but imagine if we took the time to visualize having that trophy in our hand and what it would feel like. The feeling, one of the things I always say to people is that, even myself, I like to work out, but I don't skip to the gym at 5:30 in the morning. Some mornings I would like to roll back into my bed and sleep, but I visualize what I'm going to feel like after the gym. So I'm a big quote person, and I like to take quotes, and that's how I visualize where I'm going to be, and that quote helps me to get into that moment. And Marissa Mayer is the CEO of Yahoo, and she talks about you need to get out of your comfort zone in order for you to grow and push through those moments of can't, push through those moments of, oh crap, I'd rather be someplace other than here. So, for those of you who are new to working out, or it hasn't been something that you've been able to keep consistently, I want you to visualize what it's like to walk into the gym, put your bag in the locker, get on the treadmill that you have, or walk up and pick up a piece of equipment, and what it actually feels like when you're done and finished, and how amazing your body will feel when it's done. One of the things I have a lot of my clients do when they're struggling with this is write out that ideal scene. And what that ideal scene is, like, what do you want your body to look like, and physically feel what that body looks like. And when I say this, I want you to think about your body. I don't want you to say, oh, I want the body of, and insert your favorite actress, reality TV star, fitness star. Visualize what you, with your head on, your full body, because your mind can't disseminate between what is reality right now and what is a future reality. So that's, something to say. Visualize what success is going to look like. And I know that for some of us, staying positive can be a bit of a challenge. And, it's so much easier to believe the negative things than it is to actually believe the positive. And so what I want is you to visualize what every workout, what does that mean to you? For me, I surround myself with a lot of positive messages. The shirt says "Be your own superhero." Like those types of images, those make me be like, all right, yeah, I can be my own superhero. Again, I have a lot of quotes. I have a notebook that I literally just put tons of quotes. When I'm on Instagram or Facebook, I grab quotes that move me. And Marianne Williamson, she is just I have a brain crush on this woman. Like, she just knows how to distill very complicated things into something really simple. This is just a few lines of one of her famous poems. If you Google Our Deepest Fear, there's a video of it from the movie Coach Carter. And anytime I feel stuck, anytime I just feel like, kicking the wall and, just go and take it to my bed, I listen to that video, and it just reminds me that I need to step into my power. It's so easy for me, or any of us, to just shrink and die. But, when I read this poem, I actually hear the words. It just reminds me that, what? I do have times I feel inadequate. I do have times when I'm trying something new that I'm just like, holy mother of pearl, there's no freaking way. And I have to find things to get me back to a place of can versus being in that place of can't. There's a lot of us who project what the present is versus actually sitting and being in that present space. And another guilty part of this, there's probably all 8 of these things I've been guilty of in the past, and I still work on it. The one thing about mindset, it's just like, fitness. It's not like, oh, I went on this wonderful diet and now I'm fine, I'm cured. That's not the case. With mindset, I'm always working on it, but when you become aware of it, it's less likely to pose a problem. So every morning what I do is I wake up with intentions. And I wake up and I say, okay, I want to feel good in my body today. And so that could be I'm working out. That could be I'm eating the right way. I also ask my clients that we set up goals for 30, 60, and 90 days. And I want these goals that every single day you're doing 1 to 2 to 3 things that moving you towards that goal, so that it's small, sustainable steps, not these like big sweeping steps that we're trying to, climb Everest in one day. One of the best things that I always tell everyone, all of my clients, is that it's consistency versus constantly. If I consistently eat well, I consistently work out, I will hit my goals. Now, that's not constantly. So there is wiggle room for you to have wine and cupcakes, because life would suck without those. So this woman, Byron Katie, another person I have a big brain crush on, she is very, in the moment. She is always talking about, us owning our stories. And is it a belief or judgment that we're having about ourselves, the person, the moment, that is keeping us stuck? And a lot of times these stories take on a life of their own. So if someone told you on the playground that you're a fatty boomalati, 30 years, you're probably still holding on to that. And you might be like, you know what, I can't lose weight because Tommy so-and-so told me I was a fatty boomalati. And Tommy so-and-so is probably a fatty boomalati now. So it's, you know, us being in the present moment and really evaluating what's happening in the here and in the now. Strong is across all things. Mentally strong, physically strong, spiritually strong. How do you every day put one foot in front of the other and stay towards your path? You know, there was a woman that I was once coaching, and when you work with me, because everything I do is online, you have to send me pictures. And she kept checking in, and I said, hey, Sally, you know, each week you check in, but you don't send me any pictures. And she said to me, you know, Kim, I don't like to look at myself in the mirror. And that, like, took my breath away. I was just like, what? You don't like to look at yourself in the mirror? And she's like, I don't like what I see. And that to me, like, that just like hit my core. That just made me so sad that she doesn't like to look in the mirror. So my mission is to want to help people look in the mirror and know that you are a work in progress. We are always working on something. I am working on something today. Like I have a goal. I have a goal for everything in my life. It's what helps me get by. Does it make me too structured, make it too rigid? No. It just, if I look at it like this, if I said I was going to California, would I just get in the car and drive? No. Some of you may, and that's fine, but I want at least a loose outline of where I'm going. Am I going to go just straight across? Am I going to go down then across? Am I going to take some detours to see the biggest ball of wax? Like, what is that plan? So Margaret Cho, she's an amazing comedian, and you know, so one of the things that she talked about is when someone called her beautiful, she's like, what, are you kidding me? Like, that's not me. I'm not beautiful. And a lot of women feel that, you know. A lot of us, when we hear a compliment, we don't receive it. We'll brush it off. And again, guilty as charged. Someone will be like, Kim, you taught an amazing class. I'm like, oh no, it's no big deal. It was a big deal. I put together the music, I put together the exercises, and I'm going to take credit, gosh darn it. So the next time someone says something nice to you, I want you to receive it. Receive it and let it sink in. You know, if you help someone and they said, you know what, Kim, thank you so much for helping me, be like, you are quite welcome, Susie. Or if someone says anything that's nice to you, if they call you pretty, take it in. Don't just brush it off and be like, oh, they're being nice to me. And I know another guilt, my husband will be like, oh, Kim, he'll say something to me. I'm like, oh, I'm like, you have to. I'm like, you're married to me. But no, like, honestly, that's not how my husband rolls. If something is a spade, he'll call it a spade. And he just won't compliment me just for the sake of complimenting me. So now I'm being very focused on accepting compliments, receiving compliments. The panic button. I don't know how many times, especially for my elite athletes when they're getting ready for an event, or some of my brides, they're all like, oh my God, Kim, the world's falling apart. And everything that's under the sun that is going wrong in their mind. And so this is what brings me back to the work of Byron Katie. She talks about being in the moment. And in the moment, the story that you've built up in your head causes you to press this panic button, and I'm the panic button. I'm that red button. And I liken it to, remember that Staples commercial where it had the easy button? So it's like, if you call Kim, I'm the easy button. I'm the one that can help you get out of that circle. So the thing about the panic button is You know, if I smash it, all my eggs, then how am I going to be able to reap anything out of those eggs? So one of the things I always tell people when you go to hit the panic button is that you have to remind yourself of why you started. This is why I'm that big believer of goals. This is why goals are so important. Because of that, you're able to find your true north, if you will. If you get off course, you're able to come back on course and say, okay, this is just a panic, and I just need to, rewrite the ship. That's one of the beauties of having a coach, a third party who can be that calm voice of reason when you're going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. The zone. We hear about athletes getting in the zone before a big game, before a big meet. They just sit and they just focus on what they need to do. They focus on getting shit done. And so one of the things I recently started doing is journaling, and it's it just pours the crazy, the busy that's happening in my mind out. The other thing I do is I listen to music, and so when I'm working out, they're just songs that I just whenever I'm you know what, I can't finish, I can't. I flip to it on my iPod, and it gets me through. And so, find those handful of songs that when you're working out or you're feeling like you're in a bad spot, that can get you through. So it's I ask myself when I'm feeling stuck, what am I going to do different? What can I do to change the outcome? And sometimes it's just sitting with that question and being still that helps me to do that. Diane Sawyer, TV anchor for a million years, it's all about that self-belief. And when you're in the zone, you have so much self-belief that you're bulletproof, that no matter what comes up, that you can handle it. You're able to manage all of that with no problems whatsoever. This is another one, the whole confidence thing. And, us as women, I don't know if it's we weren't taught at a young age to exude confidence, or if we were confident, we were, thought of to be a bitch or bossy or pushy. And, for my whole life, I was bossy. Well, I still am. I was called bossy. I was called pushy. And you know what? I am. But a lot of times I do find myself shrinking so that I am not too confident, that I'm not too pushy, too bossy for people, because for some people, just the confidence I have in myself overwhelms. But I also know that some people were never taught to be that confident. So it's hard for you to even imagine the thought of projecting it. So this image right here, you see all these images all the time, just do it, go for it, bulletproof, all these, different adjectives. And I saw this and it said, just do it if you're going to suck. We are not going to be amazing at everything, but you never know if you are amazing until you try. So if you suck, go for it. And you know what? Guess what? You learn a new way to fail. You learn the path that's not supposed to work. So we all know who Lady Gaga is. So if we talk about confidence, I mean, she wore a freaking meat outfit. All of her outfits require a whole host of confidence. The shoes she wears require a whole host of confidence. And before she became Lady Gaga, and I can't remember what her real name is, she used to walk around like she was the Queen of Sheba. Now, for us, I'm not saying put on a meat suit or wear crazy shoes, but imagine if you walked around in the persona that you want to be. That eventually that persona is no longer you acting, but all of a sudden you're like, hang on, that's how I am. I am Lady Gaga. Beyonce, when she goes on stage, she's, pretty shy. when she goes on stage, she shot Sasha Fierce. So if you need to come up with an alter ego to help you get into what you want to be when you project confidence, go for it, sister. No one's stopping you. You know, if you want to be Shanae, you want to be Sasha Fierce, you want to be J-Lo, pick it, be it, and just exude that confidence. In evaluations. Now, the one thing about evaluation, it's not after an hour. Oh my God, I've been eating clean for an hour. I've been working out for an hour, and I haven't lost 100 pounds. What's that all about? It sucks. Oh my God. You need equal measures. The general adage that most people say is that it takes 4 weeks to create a habit, 8 weeks for other people to notice, and 12 weeks for you to notice. So when you are getting ready to get serious, you're making changes, you're setting serious goals, I always ask my clients to go for 30, 60, and 90-day increments. So if you are looking to lose weight, I say, okay, what do you want to do? So if you say, I want to lose 10 pounds, we've identified, okay, we want to lose 10 pounds. Let's make the plan. How are we going to lose the 10 pounds? What's your food going to look like? What's your workouts going to look like? What's your sleep going to look like? What's the plan? Then, I have my clients check in with me at least every other week or once a month, and we say, okay, let's evaluate what's working. Let's check in. Let's touch base. Then, if that, what you're currently are doing isn't working, then we say, okay, what changes do we have to make? And that circle keeps going and going and going and going ad nauseum until you've hit your goal. Now, the big thing, like I said, people want things fast. But if you're going the wrong direction, it's easy enough when you're measuring to know that you're going the wrong direction versus going down the road for like 4 hours and then be like, hang on, I think we should have been going the other way. So you're on this call because you feel like you need to make a change. My goal is to help you make that mindset shift during 19 days of gratitude. Now, as we've alluded to during this whole time together, it is your mind that will steer the ship. Once I get my head on straight, then everything will start to fall apart, fall in place. It's when my mind isn't together when things start to fall apart. So when I am not hitting my goal and I'm like, oh, everything's ruined, and I'm just going to go headfirst into a cake. It's getting your mind around, getting you thinking in positive places so that you're not always drawn into that negativity. You're not put into that victim mode of woe is me, poor me. When your head's in the game, that's when you feel unstoppable. Our strength is measured by our mental ability. So starting on the 8th of November for 19 days, I will be sending you an email that will give you a simple action to do every single day. And so here's a few examples, and it's just simple, easy action items that'll just come in your email box every single day. I also have a journal that's available that you'll just go in and just write down. It's something that you're feeling, something that you need to do to somebody. It's just something very simple that you can get done in a day. So I don't want you to feel like it's this big, like, I'm sending you on the quest to find the Holy Grail. That's not the case. So it begins on November 8th, and it is, if you sign up right now, and starting on the 8th, the emails will start to come into your box. It's bit.ly gratitude 2015, and it's just really something super simple to help you guys get into the zone around getting your mind straight. You know, I wanted to do this at this point in the game because of the holidays are coming up, and it's so easy to get so busy and caught up into the holidays. And so, you know, I also found that, you know, impossible begins in our head. And so if we start to, you know, work from the top down now before we get caught up in the busy of the true holiday series, this will help you master mindfulness so that you can, you know, get a nice jump start if you do in fact have a weight loss resolution for January. You know, I want you to imagine the possibility of a brand new you when you open up your mind. So, you know, I want things to start to click and you start to be like, you know, just start the new network processes going in your brain. Because once it starts, it's really amazing how quickly other parts of your life, not only just your fitness part of your life, but your relationships, your career, your business, if you're self-employed, all start to come together and start to get into what I call a flow. So I want to, you know, before I open it up for Q&A, I want to leave you with, you know, Oprah, you know, she talks about if you're thankful for what you already have, then the universe will give you more. So if we start thinking about, instead of thinking about the things we don't like about what's going on, we focus on all the things that we do like, the universe will start to show us things that we want. So again, you know, it opens on November 8th. And, you know, I welcome you to ask any questions. Again, you just type it up in the chat box, and, you know, I can definitely like answer any questions. Oh, I see a couple of questions. The question is, how does mindset affect weight loss? Awesome question. I call this what the Indian and the arrow. So a lot of times people will come to me and they say, Kim, just give me a plan. If you give me a plan, I'll follow it. I'll follow it, and I'll follow it to a T. And what that is just an arrow. And so how I came up with this analogy is when I first started playing golf, you know, if you've never played golf, it's just a frustrating, humbling game. And I would have a bad round and I would blame my shoes, the ball, the club, everything but me. And so my husband would say, you know, maybe it's the Indian being me and not the arrows being everything else I was blaming. So what I find with plans is that if your head is not in the game, and I just give you a plan, the plan isn't going to work. And then it's like, oh my God, the plan sucks. Maybe it's you. Maybe you didn't have your head in the right spot. Maybe you weren't ready to follow and learn versus just, you know, trying to make this big, crazy, sweeping change that you weren't mentally ready for. So that's how mindset affects weight loss. If your head is in the game, you know what's going to happen if you get stuck. And we find ways and strategies for you not to have these kind of mini implosions. That's how mindset's going to help you in the whole weight loss arena. Did I answer your question, Michelle? Okay. The next question I have is 19 days. Why 19 days? I wanted it to be simple. I wanted it to be so simple that anyone could do it, that it wasn't going to be taxing. It ends right at Thanksgiving, so, you know, there's no excuse that, oh my God, I was caught up in the hullabaloo of the holidays. And I also wanted it to be something that was just something simple that you could do before you got busy in the holidays. It's 100% free. You get daily emails. I'll be creating an ebook a little later, but you guys are my beta testers, so good for you, and thank you for, you know, reading through and giving me feedback. I love feedback. So yeah, so that's why 19 days. The other question I have is, do I need to buy anything else for this? Well, the only thing I say is, you might want to buy a journal so that you can write down some of the write down some of the things that are in the daily actions. The other thing I ask, the other thing is I ask is that you should write these down. A lot of times it's like, oh, I'll just put it in my phone, or oh, I'll just do it in my head. But if you write it down, I wanted this to be something that you can come back to when you're having that bad moment, when you're having that moment that you're like, ah, screw it, and I'm having a brownie. Is there a way for you to, sorry, the question I'm reading is there a way for you to ask questions? Yes, I have a private Facebook group. So once you are enrolled in the 19-day gratitude program, I will add you to that Facebook group, and in that Facebook group, you will I will answer any questions that you have in that Facebook group about pretty much anything. The group is pretty wide open, and I already have other members in there, so you'll get to mingle with them and ask any questions that you possibly have about that. So I encourage you all to, if you have any additional questions, I know I said I wanted to wrap this up in 30 minutes. I didn't want to take too much of your Thursday evening. But if anyone has any more questions, I'll hang out for a couple of minutes. But I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to come out and hang out with me on a Thursday night. And I hope you have a great weekend on tap. It's supposed to be pretty nice here in the New England area. Okay, I'm seeing that I don't have any questions. So what I will do is in the next probably 24 hours when the recording comes in, I'll shoot this out to you so you can have it as a copy. But in the meantime, I'm going to put my email address in the chat box. So if you have any questions, you can do that. Sorry, I can't talk and type at the same time. So squad leader at fabfitsquad.com. But I welcome you to have any more questions. The challenge starts on the 8th of November, and I want you to have an amazing rest of your Thursday. Talk soon.